and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all very, very well. Today is a video, nothing to do with books. It's a video about, potentially about New Year's resolutions, but not really. I always make sort of like reading resolutions and things like that, and I've sort of not done that this year. But after watching quite a few people's resolutions videos and stuff, I was thinking there are things that I want to do this year. So what I've done for the rest of the year, I've made a list of 10 things I want to do in the 10 months left of the year. So ideally I would do one of these every month. Some of them involve sort of like build up and progress, so they're ones that will be done sort of towards the end of the month, towards the end of the year, and some of them I could do sort of in a day. But yeah, there's 10 things I thought I would share with you in the interest of me now putting that out on the internet and having to do it. Look at this collar, it keeps bloody popping up. In the interest of it being on the internet and now me sort of having to do that, I thought I would do that with you. So here are 10 things that I would like to do in 2020. So the first one is give blood. I've never given blood in my life. I've got friends that do it, my colleague does it on the regular, and it's something that I've always thought, oh, I absolutely must get around to doing that. It's a completely selfless act. I'm really respectful of the people that do it, and I've never done it. Now, I'm not a big fan of needles. Who is? So it does take a bit of sort of bravery for me to go out and do this. So I also need to do a bit of, this is one of the things that I could sort of do in a day, really. So I need to have a look and find out where, also, I've just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, so I've got to find out if I can still give blood with type 2 diabetes, yeah, and then I've got to look into where I can do that, and etc, etc. So the first one is give blood. The second one is volunteer. Now, I've never really done any voluntary work in my life, and I would like to remedy that this year. This, I don't know if this is going to be something where I do something one-off, or whether it's something that I do on a regular basis. I want to have a look at what voluntary work I'd like to do, and see what I can do. So yeah, volunteer. So that's something that hopefully I will get around to doing this year. Number 3 is an event, and it is go to the cinema by myself. This is something I've always said I would do whenever questioned, as if it comes up all the time, but like, if we were ever talking about the cinema, I'd say, oh yeah, I would go to the cinema by myself, but I've never have. So I would like to, at some point in the rest of the year, go to the cinema by myself and watch a film and just have a lovely time. I see people in the cinema watching films by themselves, think it's lovely. David's been to the cinema a few times by himself and had a lovely time. And yeah, I think I would like to go to the cinema by myself. So maybe one night after work, I'll just take myself off to the cinema to watch something that maybe David isn't that keen on watching. So yeah, go to the cinema by myself. Number 4 is complete couch to 5K. So this is definitely one that's, sorry, I'm sitting on this, I've got a jumpsuit on, and every time I sit on the back of it, it's all pins me back. Yeah, number 4 is complete couch to 5K. So couch to 5K is an app which is getting me from running nothing to eventually running 5K, and it works on a weekly basis. There's 3 runs a week, and they gradually build up your running. So to start with, I was doing 1 minute running, 90 seconds walking for 8 minutes. That's week 1, and then week 2 it flips it, so it's 90 seconds running, 60 seconds walking, and it's gradually building up. Now I've just finished, I've tried to complete this many times, and I've just finished week 3, which is the furthest I've ever got before. In fact, run 1 of week 3 is the furthest I've ever got to. So the next time I go for a run, which will be Wednesday, I will be in unknown territory. So I'll be doing week 1 run, week 4 run 1. Now there are 9 weeks to this program, so I'm at week 4, so I'm going in the right direction. At the moment, I'm not able to fit in 3 runs a week because when I get home from work, it's dark, and I'm not a big dark running person. The pavements around where I live are really unstable, and it's more so like tripping or something like that that worries me. But the clocks do go back at the end of this month, so it is going to get to the point where I can go for a run when I get home from work. So eventually I will be doing 3 runs a week. At the moment I'm doing 2 runs a week. But yeah, I would love to be able to complete couch to 5K. Now I've been doing park run every Saturday, which, although I didn't do it yesterday because it was raining so much. I'm filming this on a Sunday, by the way. And yeah, I would love to be able to do it. So my friend Emma and I have been doing park run, and Emma's just signed up for a 10K, and she said to me, oh, do you want to do this 10K with me? Ordinarily I would have been like, yeah, let's sign up for a 10K, knowing that there's no way I'm ever going to do a 10K, and then just dread it, and then eventually not doing it. So I think by giving myself a sort of mini challenge of getting to completing Couch to 5K, that is completely doable and something I've never done before. So I will be so proud of myself and delighted with myself if I manage to do it. And I'm just going to keep on plugging on, because when it gets to the summer, you know how much I hate the heat. I'm going to think I'm going to really struggle to run in the summer. So that is something that I'm working on now, and I've got so much belief in myself that I'm going to do that. So I'm really, really excited to hopefully complete that. Number 5 is cross stitch something and frame it. I'm just freaking my book. This is my bag. This is my Books in My Bag by Peter Blake bag of cross stitch stuff. I've got so much cross stitch stuff. I start cross stitch and I never finish them. I've got feminist icon cross stitch with amazing feminist icons in here, and like, for instance, Susan B. Anthony, and who else? Come on. Simone de Beauvoir, and then things with like little statements saying equal pay for equal work. That's one book. I've got another one here which says Storyland across stitch, where I've got lots of little bits that I could do in there. I've even bought, like, I've got so much like Ada. Oh, don't lose that thing. So much Ada stuff that I've started. Look, for instance, started something with a little bird on it there. I've done stuff beforehand when I started. I actually went through a stage of cross-stitching a few things for people's birthdays and stuff. But I would like to, this year, cross-stitch and frame something. Now, again, I'm already sort of on the road to doing this, because I started this about 3 or 4 years ago, never finished it. This is on red Ada. It says, Nolite te bastards carborundum, which is from the Handmaid's Tale, Don't Let the Bastards Get You Down, and it's also got a lovely bit of like floral on the bottom. So I'm going to eventually finish that, hopefully, and get that framed. So that is something that I am well on the way to doing as well, but would like to do it because I've got all these lovely things, and I really enjoy cross stitch. I really enjoy sort of sitting, listening to an audiobook, and getting crafty. So there we go, that's something. Let me put all this away now, like a good girl. Number 6 is quite a big one actually, and this is a work in progress, and this is something that I'm going to have to put a bit of effort into, because it's quite a big job that I'd like to have done by the end of the year. So every year for Christmas and birthdays, I ask for cookbooks. I've also got some cookbooks here that I've been sent from the publisher, and I love cookbooks. I get as much joy out of reading a flicking through a cookbook as I do reading a book. And I've got a whole selection here, but honestly, I ask for cookbooks and then I still cook from the same books that I love, like Jamie's Veg, Green Roasting Tin, Jamie's 15-minute meals. I cook a lot out of that, and I've got 8 cookbooks here that I have only cooked one thing out of, or even yet to cook something out of. So very, very excited. I would like to be able to say at the end of this year that I've cooked something out of all of these cookbooks. So the first one is Mira Sodha's East. So this is 120 vegan and vegetarian recipes from Bangalore to Beijing. I've actually sort of started going through and started marking things that I might like to make. So in here, autumn pilau with squash, cavolo nero and smoked garlic. So that's the first one. Then I've got Mowgli Street Food. Oh, sorry, so I got that for my birthday of my sister. Then I've got Mowgli Street Food by Nisha Katona. Now, Mowgli is a restaurant in, I believe they're actually, I think there's gonna be one in Bristol, but or it was just in the north of England. Indian street food, just the most amazing food ever. I've been a few times with Simon and his husband Chris, which has been amazing, and Simon actually got this for me and David from Nisha, and got it signed, which says, "To Lauren and David, may your kitchen smell of Mowgli and glow with turmeric sunshine." How lovely. And there are a few things in there that we absolutely love, so we need to make something out of that. I think I've made something out of that, but I can't be quite sure. The next one is a similar book, because it's Dishoom's new cookbook, which I got for Christmas off of David's parents, and Dishoom is an Indian street food restaurant in the south. I think they're only in London at the moment, but I think they're going to open up some other ones. But I actually went there this week. My friend and I, Emma, went to watch Stacey Dooley in Conversation, and we went there first, and they just have some amazing food. And again, I've been through and sort of made a few notes of things that I'd like to make, but their one thing that I love there so much is their black dal. It is fantastic, and also their gunpowder potatoes. So already I would like to recreate those delicious dishes on my own at home. Then I've got Green by Ellie Pear, which is a book that was sent to me by the publisher. This I have made some things out of, but I love it so much, and the food photography in here is so beautiful, that I would love to be able to make, I would love to make something else from here as well, because everything that I've made out of here has been delicious, but it's just sort of been sitting on my shelf not doing anything. Then I've got one that I haven't made anything from. This is Simple by Ottolenghi. Ottolenghi's food, whenever I see him on any TV programme or look at any Instagram with his food or look through cookbooks, David's mum's got a few of his cookbooks, I always think, God, it looks amazing. And I've never made anything that Ottolenghi's got. But this is his Simple cookbook, because ordinarily a lot of his recipes include quite complex ingredients, but this one doesn't. So yeah, so I've got to work my way through here and find some bits from there. Then I've got Fresh India, which David got for me for my birthday a few years ago after I'd just absolutely seen this at my friend Dolores' house. I've got really, really itchy foot. I'd seen this at my friend Dolores' house and flicked through it and loved it. And I've made a few things out of here, but not lots. So I would like to make some things out of here. God, you could literally open your bloody page at anything and it looks amazing. Rhubarb and ginger chutney. Salad, paneer, mango and tamarind salad, just yummy. So that's the same author actually as East, so 2 books by her. And then this is one that was sent to me by the publisher, I've got to itch my foot, guys, I've got to. This is one that was sent to me by Emma at Book Break. This is My New Roots, and this is plant-based and vegetarian recipes for every season, and I love seasonal cookbooks, so I'm looking forward to cooking. I'd like to cook a few things out of here as the seasons go by. I haven't cooked anything out of there. And then the last one is a baking book that David's mum got me for my birthday, Baking with Kim Joy. Kim Joy was a finalist on the Great British Bake Off a couple of years ago, and she makes such cute little bakes. I mean, adorable, and I don't have like high hopes that I'm going to be able to complete something like this, but there are some things in here what I definitely think I would be able to do. Look at this space turtle cake. Imagine just knocking that out in an afternoon. So yeah, so I'm going to, I've got high hopes that I'm going to make a cake from there. So those are the 8 cookbooks that I would like to make something from. Ideally, I'd like to start by trying to get something done once a month so that towards the end of the year it's not a mad rush. But yeah, so I've got 8 cookbooks that I would like to cook something from this year. Then number 7 is going to take a bit of work, and I haven't fully developed this idea yet, but it was that I'd like to go screen free for a week. Now obviously that's a bit difficult. I work with a computer, itchy foot. I work with a computer. I've got a YouTube channel where I need to film things and edit them and stuff like that, and I use a lot of social media and stuff, but I'd like to, yeah, so at the moment it stands as I'd like to go screen free for a week. Whether that means I'd like to go phone free for a week, whether that means I'd like to not go on any social media for a week, whether that means I don't turn my telly on or whatever. I've got to work that week, so I'm not going to be able to go completely screen free, but yeah, that's an idea in development, but I'd like to take a week off of screens if possible. So yeah, I would like to do that. Number 8 is do some creative writing. Now last year I sort of got over my, well, did I get over it? Because I still feel like I'm in it now. I got over my cringe fear, so whenever I do some creative writing and things like that, I just read it back with such cringe in me that I'd like to be able to do some creative writing and not feel that. So I feel like, again, that's something that I need to work on, because the more I do it, the less sort of cringy I'll feel. But yeah, I've got a few sort of ideas of things that I can do. I've got some story dice where you roll them and then you have to incorporate the things that are on the dice into your story, and I feel like exercises are probably the right way for me to go. So yeah, so I'm going to work and maybe do some creative writing. Number 9 is go to a museum. When I was younger, we used to go to museums all the time. Like when I was a little girl, it was before the museums in London were free, and we actually had membership, and quite often at the weekends my mum and dad would take me and my sister and a friend of ours to the museums, and I haven't been to a museum for ages, and I'd love to go to a museum. David and I went to the Science Museum and the Natural History Museum a couple of years ago, but yeah, at some point this year I'd love to go to a museum. And then the last one is, again, very vague, and it's crowdfund something. So I'm always really impressed by people who are able to find sort of like projects that they can get behind, and I'm always really impressed by people who have a product and need crowdfunding in order to get that product up and running. So I'd like to do a bit of research and then put some money behind something. So if you've got any ideas of any sort of projects that are going on, do let me know, but I'm gonna have a little look into it, and yeah, I'd like to crowdfund something this year. So those are the 10 things that I would like to do in 10 months. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know where you think I might have a few problems. Let me know the things you think I'm just gonna soar through. And yeah, I will check in with this maybe in 5 months' time, because hopefully by that point I should have done 5 of the things. And yeah, let's see at the end of the year how I've got on. So I suppose I better find something to have for dinner out of one of these books. So that's it from me, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!